All right, so what I'm about to share with you comes from this brother from France with the Twitter handle Sofian. All right, and I'm about to go through his article with you guys. And we were talking back and forth about Warner Brothers and about the leadership of Toby Emmerich. And I want to go through an article that Sofian did, and I want to put it up on YouTube because I believe this is a very important article of why Toby Emmerich needs to leave Warner Brothers. Let me go to the article. So this is the article that Sofian did. Sofian's French. I'm going to go through it in its entirety. And then I can always, you can always find it on YouTube. The title is Ice Cube wants his movie back from Warner Brothers Studio. Now this is going to be long, but bear with me. The very first VHS I have rented was Friday. I was 11 or 12 years old, and yes, I said rented because, well, I'm not really old, but just enough to have lived when we used to rent movies, physically speaking. You guys remember the Blockbusters or, the street vendors. It used to be, once upon a time, movies used to be on VHS or Betamax. And then they then became, we used to watch movies on DVDs. First it was CDs for some of us who used to get the ones on the street. And then it was DVDs, Anyways, now it's Blu-rays and so on. There was a time above, a time before. There were perfect things, diamond absolutes. A time when you could go to the video club on Friday, just after school, to watch the covers of thousands of movies, choose one to rent for the weekend. Sometimes we were even going there just to watch the jackets of the new movies without a single coin in our pockets. One day I saw this. Friday. Instant rental. I don't really know why, but these guys speak to me. Rent me, fool, they probably said. I didn't know what to expect. And I can't remember if I actually knew Ice Cube, but I'm almost sure I did from his music, of course. Friday became a classic for me. Instantly. Even I, from France, I could recognize so many of my friends and Ice Cube's characters. Man, the hood is a hood. No matter where you're from, we all had bully, kids shooting, trashes, unemployed guys chilling in the street almost 24/7. There is this humor that is subtle and silly at the same time. Not saying silly in a pejorative way. With a lot of references to the hip-hop culture, Debo's arrival on his bike with the music of Jaws, that kind of stuff that was making me laugh. I worked on me no matter the fact that I was probably only 11 years old. Of course. Craig's father's lines were, man, do I need to explain anything? The guy's literally pushing his shit while talking to Craig. I'm not going to tell you everything I liked in this movie because that would take too long. But to make it simple, I just love everything. Ice Cube wanted to show that the hood wasn't only drug dealers and drive-bys, but it was also a place where they had fun through all the chaos growing up. And that's probably what I felt the most watching it. I could recognize my neighborhood on some aspects. He goes on to talk about his background, the movies he rented, and all of that. Anyway, as someone who has participated in Release the Snyder Cut movement and is still fully committed to restore the Snyderverse, hearing that Toby Emmerich, yes, him again, doesn't want Ice Cube to do his last Friday pissed me off. First time I heard about this project was many years ago, maybe 10 years ago, and then nothing, no news. I didn't know that it was because, once again, WB was in the way. Man, what the F is wrong with this studio? They're messing with everyone they're working with. Let's dive into what Cube said. Warning. If you like Ice Cube and you like the Friday movies, you won't like what you read. Now that you've been warned, let's go. They have hijacked the happiness of the culture. I'm trying to get the movie out of Warner Brothers, Ice Cube said. Ice Cube wrote 2 crazy scripts for last Friday. The first one had Day-Day and Craig going to jail and being surrounded by all the thugs that they had put in jail. The Joker brothers, Debo and Damon. Day-Day and Craig had to survive in jail. Then they were sent to rehab, run by Smokey, smoking all the dope they found on the peoples. What a coincidence. A few weeks ago, I was boring. Pandemic, quarantine, everything closed. So I was looking for a movie to watch, and I was wondering what kind of movies I wanted. I thought, it's been a while. I haven't seen a good jail movie. I think having these guys in jail with all the thugs that they put in would have been funny as shit. A kind of FCU ending style. FCU for Friday Cinematic Universe. But you know what they said to Q? Well, they're spending too much time in jail. Jail is not really funny. Go tell that to Orange is the new black producers. And now, thanks to them, we'll never ever see the giant reunion of all the characters from Friday franchise because John Witherspoon, Craig's father, and Tom Lister Jr., Debo, passed away. O'Shea Jackson Cube precise that 7 peoples from the franchise movie of Friday are no longer with us. May they rest in peace. Bernie Mac's not with us, Justin Pierce, LaWanda Page, Ronaldo Ray, John Witherspoon, and Tom Lister Sr. So after that, Cube wrote another script that he qualified as perfect. A script that was full of Mr. Jones. But they probably had something to say. Something like, we don't understand the love story part. Does that mean Debbie was bad? Trying to get his movie back, Ice Cube answered, why are you worried about the love story part? It's a so small part of the script. Also, Cube thinks they're holding up an entire franchise just for a few dialogues, and I agree with him. Until today, nothing happened. So Ice Cube, he didn't hold his words at John's funeral. This is what he had to say.
I really apologize to my friend for not getting the next Friday movie made. It's not my fault. Some dumbass people in Hollywood at New Line Cinema, if you want to. You can email Toby, Emmerich, and Richard Brenner if you feel like I feel. Yeah, you punks 2 scripts and y'all didn't want to do them. But that's the real. We was trying to get that movie made for years and we couldn't get it done. But we got the other 3. And we got our memories and we got our love. My condolences to the family. My condolences to John David, my guy. I'm sorry. And we love you, man. We love you, John. Appreciate everybody coming. Appreciate you having me speak.
And let me say this. Warner Bros. They double timed Dave Chappelle. I remember Dave Chappelle talking about his experience with Warner Bros. And it was not good. I do not know if Toby Emmerich was involved with that. But because of the fans, Dave Chappelle was able to get back his properties, and he had a bad experience with them. Let's keep it rolling. You know what's crazier? They begged him to write a script for years, and when it was done, they wanted to tell him what needs to be in a Friday movie. These aren't my words. Listen to Kevin Smith's podcast, and you're going to hear it from the man himself. Warner Bros. Needs to stop telling artists what to do. I really hope that the announcement of the Discovery merge with Warner Bros. And the new CEO will change things at Warner Bros. Because, let me say it again, Toby Emmerich is a disease. Duh, bro. I agree with you 100%. Just breaking the narration. Sorry about that. I don't know what WB was supposed to do. I didn't know that WB was supposed to do Straight Outta Compton, but instead gave it to Universal because they thought it was just a rap movie. What a bunch of clowns running WB during the last decade. DC movies or not, they only take bad decisions. Doing mistakes is okay. Doing it repeatedly is madness. Straight Outta Compton was a hit, and Universal loved it. I don't know what's wrong with these people, but they definitely got no concept of how to run a studio. They have no concept of what makes a film good. Warner Brothers Pictures, as it stands, led by Toby Emmerich and Sarnoff, and dare I say Walter Hamada to some degree, is in terrible hands. And you guys know that because I'm going to repeat it. Warner Brothers Pictures' market share has fallen since Toby Emmerich's been there in 2017 as president. He's now CEO, head CEO. So I'm just saying, there is all the evidence in the world, and we're going to go through it in this article, of why this guy should be fired. He really is not fit for the job. Why is he still sticking around in Warner Bros.? I do not understand. They very quickly brushed away Greg Silverman. And though the president before Greg Silverman was there for a good minute and was also very productive, they got rid of him too. It seems as though this place is a cancerous place where people who actually are productive and actually have an eye for film and understand film production and understand the film process, they're removed. Right now, Toby Emmerich is trying to get rid of Charles Rowan. Why? The Warner Brothers model has been so successful when they stick to what they do best. Allow directors to direct their films. But with change in new management, and this happened with Kevin Suchiara and onwards, we've been having these problems with the directors have been having with the studio. Some directors don't have problems, but a lot of directors are having problems. I know Patty Jenkins had problems. Christopher Nolan had problems. Dennis Villeneuve had problems. Zack Snyder had problems. The studio seems to continuously shoot itself in the foot. And it's because the people who are leading it do not have a sense of direction. The DCU had direction under Zack Snyder. Right now it has none. It has no direction. It's going nowhere. There is no Team Up Justice League movie in the distance. Ego kills more dreams than failures. I'm going to list for you all of Toby Emmerich's mistakes, at least as listed by this gentleman. He lied to worldwide fans about Justice League, saying there were minor reshoots and that he wasn't changing Zack's vision. He tried to hide abuse and racism that happened on the Justice League reshoots under the carpet. He did not release the Justice League numbers and is trying to shadow it with inaccurate articles. He did not call Zack Snyder or even once after the release of Zack Snyder's Justice League. He sabotaged, I'm going to add it, he sabotaged the release of Zack Snyder's Justice League by leaking it online, or allowing the leak not to be fixed immediately online. He blocked Zack Snyder's Justice League from entering theaters. I want to just put that out, especially in China, where it is doing exceptionally well. He never had seen the Snyder Cut until 2019, but execs had called it unwatchable. He fired Ray Fisher from The Flash because he exposed what happened in 2017. This is through Walter Hamada, who fired him. He made Christopher Nolan leave the studio. Christopher Nolan has left the studio because he streamed Christopher Nolan's movie without his permission while that movie was in theaters, when Christopher Nolan said he solely wanted the movie in theaters, so that you could only see that movie in theaters. Now, like I said before, he didn't only tick off Christopher Nolan, but he also ticked off Patty Jenkins, who also was pretty annoyed that this package came at that hour. Okay? Let's continue. He sold Army of the Dead to Netflix, but then tried to get a job there. Didn't believe in Joker by Todd Phillips, and he cut the budget that Todd Phillips had for Joker. And that movie made $1 billion. Straight out of Compton, he sold it to Universal. And right now, he keeps Last Friday hostage, even to this day. And the list goes on and on. Need I say more about why this guy needs to be kicked out of Warner Brothers as soon as possible, like tomorrow? Get rid of him. What are you waiting for? Clean up in-house so when Discovery comes, they have a fresh, clean slate. And for God's sakes, WarnerMedia, get the goddamn Snyder Cut into theaters, particularly in China. What are you waiting for?